Wait a minute, why are these books here?
I'm not sure. I would imagine that this author, Ellison, is black.
That's me, Ellison. Yeah. He is me, and he and I are black.
Oh, bingo.
No bingo, Ned. These books have nothing to do with African American studies. They're just literature. The blackest thing about this one is the ink.
I don't decide what sections the books go in, and no one here does. That's how chain stores work.
Right. Ned, you don't make the rules.
I'm just gonna put them back after you leave.
Don't you dare, Ned. Do not you dare.
That is a clip from American Fiction. I'm delighted to say we've been joined by its star, Jeffrey Wright. Jeffrey, hello, good afternoon. How are you, sir?
I'm well. Thanks for having me, Simon.
And congratulations on the Oscar nomination for Best Actor. 5 nominations for this picture. There must be a spring in your step every morning.
Sure. No, it's very good. It's better than the alternative, not to be appreciated, certainly. And it's really gratifying that, our peers have seen our film and think that we've done some pretty good work. So it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
See, I want to compliment you and your movie without sounding like I'm one of the tone deaf people in your film.
Well, have at it.
Okay, so I really enjoyed your film, and I thought you were terrific.
Oh, thank you.
They're the words that I've come up with. Introduce us to Monk. Introduce us to Thelonious Ellison is his name. Monk is what he's referred to as throughout the picture. Introduce us to him and tell us as much as you can about him.
Well, he's a writer, also a professor of English at a university in California. He's his own man. He writes from a perspective that is his own. He wants to be creatively and intellectually free, but the things that he writes about aren't necessarily the things that audiences want to read. So he writes things that are maybe a bit esoteric, or, as is shown in the film, maybe not considered to be things that he should be writing about, things that are not quite black enough. So out of frustration, he decides to write a novel that is for the masses, an urban novel that he thinks will show up the hypocrisy of the publishing world. And so he does, and under an assumed name, the name of Staggar Lee, which is a reference to this pimp caricature of the 19th century in America. Yeah. And lo and behold, this novel becomes the best-selling of his career and blows up. And he's off on this kind of crazy adventure in which that character that he created, kind of like Frankenstein, turns around to consume him in a way. Meanwhile, his family is falling apart, crisis after crisis. His mother is ailing, and he's asked to be the adult inside the room of his house and be caretaker to his mother and help kind of salvage the family. And so there are any number of pressures working on him, and he's at the middle trying to make his way through it all. And at the same time, the film has quite a bit of laughs as he does.
Oh yeah, that's certainly true. So there is social commentary and satire, which I want to come back to, but it's that family life. From reading other interviews that you've done, Jeffrey, that you seem to be really particularly proud of as a story that we don't see. And certainly it's not the way the movie's been advertised, actually, I don't think. But so it's kind of like two stories or a fully enriched character that we're watching here.
Yes, well, the thrust of the story is his journey as a writer and the escapades that he finds himself inside as a result of, making this choice to lead this dual life. And that thrust leads us to a far less absurd aspect of the film, to the more human side of the film, which is found within the portrait of this family, which is a family like any family, a bit messy, a bit loving, functional and dysfunctional, but together in spite of itself. And it's that family, I think, that provides, in some ways, an answer to the misperception of who this man is. Really, he's just a man who's dealing with the things that every other person in a situation such as his would be responding. He's leading this ordinary human life that's complex, that for me, as an actor, I'd not been asked to play before. I'd never had an opportunity before to be a part of such a wonderfully interesting and beautiful, at the end of the day, at least to my eyes, family. It's something that we rarely see. And so what the film is trying to do is argue that there's a broader humanity in the representation of characters such as myself, of Black life, not only in film or in the publishing world, but generally in terms of the misperceptions, very often preconceptions of who we are. And it's shown, again, as a foil to the absurdity, almost tragic absurdity, of the satirical side of the film through the portrait of the Ellisons.